Really? Yeah, he got a steal.
Yeah. Who told you that? Joe was liquored up.
Yeah. Can't we just get this and go to the
Where
bar?
were you?
Oh, man, you wouldn't believe. I was arguing with somebody out there that said that you didn't race good enough.
Oh, really?
Okay. Sorry for the not being here when I shouldn't, but Denny Hamlin certainly was. He drove the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota to victory tonight here in the 15th annual Ford EcoBoost 400. This is his 23rd win in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series career. He's joined up front by his crew chief, Darian Grubb, and team president over Joe Gibbs Racing, J.D. Gibbs. It's his first win here in 2013, his second time he's won at Homestead-Miami. But Denny, I got to believe that this one is as sweet as you've had. The season that you've had, the adversity that you've faced, to win the season finale, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's, you know, a horrible year, and I was going to be counting down the laps. You know, I'd kind of, you know, you hate to say you give up, but you know, kind of conceded to the fact that we probably weren't going to keep the streak alive of a win every year. And, you know, just I knew on that first run right away that we were going to have a shot. And if the strategy didn't go our way and we fell back, and when we were able to drive back up to the front, I knew that, you know, Darian had really given me a car that was capable of winning. And, you know, it's as bad as, you know, the year is, we can at least take a little solace in this finish. And, you know, spend these next 2 months regrouping, getting our team back in order, and I feel like, you know, there's no reason why we can't shoot out of the gates in 14 like we did in 2010 after winning here in 2009. So, you know, that really was the point for us, is when we won this race here in 2009. Just the confidence went through the roof, and 2010 obviously was a great season for us, and hopefully that repeats here in 14.
And Darian Grubb, excuse me, congratulations on this win here tonight. Maybe just talk about what this can mean for the overall race team.
Thank you. It was a really good day, just a good team effort. Like you said, the strategy didn't go our way after the first caution, and we were the only car to stay out. But that was going to work in our favor at the end, too, if a caution did come out, because we were the only team that had one set of tires left. But luckily, we didn't need to do that. But the pit crew did an incredible job all day. I think their worst stop was a 12.3, I think, the whole day. So they came out, gained positions every stop. So good team effort and a good day all the way around.
J.D. Gibbs, Coach Joe Gibbs, congratulations on an outstanding season. Getting Denny into victory lane, and certainly the runner-up championship finish by Matt Kenseth. Talk about maybe this victory here today by Denny, and what it means to the race team, and then maybe also touch about Matt's super season.
Yeah, I think really with Denny, and it was a tough year. This, to me, was one of the best wins we've had at Joe Gibbs Racing in all the years we've been doing it, just because it just capped off. These guys are capable, and they're gifted, and they can do it. So we're really proud of Darian and Denny and the whole team. And then Matt, you know, we would love to win that championship, but he had a great race. He did a good job. And he's just a good leader for our team. I think Denny and Kyle like him and respect him. So that's a big deal.
Good deal. We'll take questions now. If you have one, raise your hand. Start right here with Lewis, and we'll go to others.
Lewis Frank Speedway. Denny, what did you do to keep your spirits up during the year?
I'm really not sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of positives. You know, Fridays were always really good for us. When we qualified, that was always, you know, the best day of the weekend for us. And so, you know, it's just, I don't know, you just try to find, you know, what works for you. And really for us, the last 2 months, we'd started figuring things out a little bit as a race team and started to turn that corner from where we were in the midsummer. But still never really got a feel of the car like, I feel like that I was comfortable enough to go up there and race for race wins. We came here and tested a month or so ago or a few weeks ago and obviously hit on something that was really, really good for us. And so, I mean, you just look at the small victories. It's all I could do was really, take pride in the small victories that we had here and there, knowing that we were getting a little bit better each week. And after last week, it was just like another step back once again in performance, and that you just at least could take a little solace in that Matt was just as bad as we were, and so it, but you still, with all the rules changes and everything coming up next year, I was looking forward to 2014 because a lot of things, these cars are not going to be the same as what they were. A lot of the rule changes that happened late last year, I felt like hurt myself and our race team, and I think that it's taken us a while to catch up. But now everyone's going to be starting over clean again in 2014. And for me, when you come back after missing 4 or 5 races, you got to just 1 or 2 bad finishes, and it was like, oh, our chase hopes are over, and then next thing you know, we're just kind of racing for nothing really, and so it's hard to find the motivation to really perform at 100% when you're trying to find yourself, trying to figure out what fuel you need, and really when you feel like you're not racing for anything.
Go to Mike Embry, and then to Dean, Bob, and Brian. Mike, raise your hand. Mike Embry, Dean, Bob, and Brian.
Mike Embry, Athlon Sports. Denny, at what point of the year was the back no longer an issue, or are you still having some kind of twinges with it?
I think that I turned the corner the week after Richmond, whenever that was, right around when the chase started or so. I feel like I went in for some treatment and got a injection that kind of numbed the pain, and that really allowed me to get back in the gym and get back to doing rehab again. And so that was the point for me where I started to get better inside the car. Richmond was probably the worst that I felt of any weekend, and so it's tough when you can't go through a corner, you can't feel the race car because you're just getting lightning bolts of pain through your back. And so luckily now things have really taken a turn, and every day it just continues to get better. So looking forward to this off season, staying hard at it and coming back strong.
Let's go with Dean, and then we'll go to Nate. Brian's question was asked. Go ahead, Dean.
Dean McNulty, Toronto Sun. No mayor jokes, please. Question for JD. There was a lot of times today, the top 6, 3 Gibbs cars, 3 Hendrick cars, and it seems to be that way all season. Is that good or bad for the sport?
I think when it's your team, it's a good thing.
Yes.
When it's someone else's team, it's like, But I do think, what I love the fact, when my dad started the race team, it was 15 people. And we've grown a lot. We don't have quite the abundance that some of the other teams do, but I just love the fact that all of our guys, they're just hard workers, and they're sharp, and they spend a lot of time. The time they invest is phenomenal. And so I think to us, we just take great pride in doing things, competing against guys that have more resources than we do.
Okay, let's go to Nate, and then we'll go to Bob, and then to David Caravello. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. For Denny, your teammate Matt Kenseth was in here and was talking about how he's had best season of his career, and yet he still comes up short to the 48. I think you can kind of relate to that in 2010. What's it going to take, I guess, when Jimmie Johnson's on top of his game? Is there a place where you guys can improve to beat a team like that? Are there weaknesses? I mean, what do you see, I guess, going forward in terms of people being able to dethrone that team?
Well, I think they do a great job of being consistent, and really you can, I'd say with everyone else in the chase, you can almost count on them having one bad race. But the 48, they just never have that one bad race. Really, in all the championships, there was a couple that he won when he had bad, but everyone else kind of screwed it up. And I don't know how to explain it, but they just don't make any mistakes, and they don't have those 20th or worse finishes that it seems like every one team has throughout the chase for whatever reason, whether it be a super speedway or whatever. So you're going to have to beat him on performance, and to do that, it's really hard. I mean, he's won more than anyone, and unfortunately, we're racing during the Jimmie Johnson era. I mean, we're just unlucky in that sense, and I think that being out there and racing with him, I can say that I think he's the best that there ever was. I think he's racing against competition that is tougher than the sport's ever seen. So the guy's just good, and so you just need some bad luck here and there. I mean, the championships that he didn't win, it's because he had some bad luck here and there, or maybe they beat themselves or something like that. But here lately, it just hasn't happened that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to agree a lot with what Denny said, and I was proud to be a part of those first 3 championships when I was still there, and also proud to be the first one to knock him off, too, to keep him from getting 6. But hopefully we're the one that keeps him from getting 7 next year. But it's just like Denny said, it's consistency, and always being there at the finish. No matter how bad your car is, you're able to get that top 10 run, and you just have to be able to do that.
Okay, now let's go to, I believe it was Bob, David, and Zach.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Denny, was there a lot of experimental stuff on this car tonight, or was this more just a general what's worked well this year? And also, I assume you're saying that your back is getting better, that you wouldn't have any sort of off-season surgery.
I don't know. I have no idea. Was our engine?
No, you talking about the car?
The crash test dummy. No, it appears not. We came here and tested, and that really was the thing for us, is that we hit up on something that really took our car and really made it very, very good, and we just stuck with it. And it's also kind of what we ran at Texas, where we ran pretty strong there as well. So I think we just kind of hit up on something, a setup that had worked, and really, the experimental mode that we've been in is us just really kind of searching for different setups, trying to figure out what we need to be running, things like that. Obviously, we went through a phase there of running some different TRD motors for next year. But really, this was kind of just, we needed to end the season on a good note, so we just went with what we knew was proven on the engine side, and obviously stuck with the setup that we came up with here a few weeks ago. No, I'm going to avoid that and just keep on the rehab process that I'm in right now.
Let's go to David and then to Zach.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. JD, when Matt was in here earlier, he said there's not going to come a time when he wakes up and starts beating himself up over coming so close. I mean, do you believe him, and what is it about him that allows him to handle something like this that well?
I call him our old man driver. So he's had so much experience, and he's won a championship. He knows what it's like to lose a championship. So I think it's been real helpful. I think he's been able to help Kyle and Denny how they deal with that. And you are bummed that you didn't win it, but at the same time, we really like Matt. I think he's a great fit for Joe Gibbs Racing. Does that answer the question?
Let's go right next door to Zach.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. For Denny, this marks 8 consecutive seasons with at least 1 victory. How much does that mean to you in terms of keeping that streak alive? And did it start to wear on you, or at least be in the back of your head as the season went on and you didn't have one in the win column?
I mean, it weighs on you. I mean, at this point, what I really love about this win is that just you appreciate it so much more because you went through the bad times. And I was just so fortunate for the first 7 years of my career to not really have a horrible season. I mean, we were always able to win races every year, and any given week we knew we could win, and it was just taken for granted. It seemed like when we went to Victory Lane, it was like, yeah, it's another one. But, when you go an entire year or more without winning, it just makes you wonder, man, it makes you appreciate when you get back there. And so I think that this does so much more emotionally to our confidence, knowing that you know we can get back to the top, and for me it just makes me appreciate you know the opportunity that I have, and really you know the cars that I drive.
Additional questions? Jenna?
Jennifer, AP. Darian, I was looking at, they've got a stat sheet here of Jimmie and Chad's accomplishments, and was looking at Chad's numbers, and for a minute we thought that they credited two of your wins to him, but they didn't. What makes Chad so accomplished? He ranks second to only Dale Inman. You worked with him and alongside of him, and I think for him, you know, how does he do this?
I think the biggest thing is Jimmie Johnson. If you look at Chad before that, he didn't really have any stats to come by until he started working with Jimmie. And then just the support of that Hendrick organization, he's very good at using the people and tools around him. So I feel like that's probably his strong point, is just the organization that's there and how he delegates the workload. If you look back at 2006, when Jimmie won his first one, after I got 2 of those wins there, he kind of changed his approach to what he was doing and the way we operated that team. And that was also delegating the workload to a lot more to the people that matter, work on the race car.
Any additional questions? Kenny Bruce?
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Darian, you remember the last time you were in here?
Yeah, I was looking for a job.
Did you think about that tonight before you headed back? up
Actually, I lost a lot of sleep last night thinking about it and remembering that, and thinking about going into a season where we didn't have a win. So this is a huge weight off my shoulders too, just to be able to get Denny back in victory lane and know that we have the good speed, and to make Coach proud back there of we can do it, and we got what we got speed out of the car, and we actually pulled it off and finished it this time too, especially with Lori Tucker here from FedEx retiring and things too. It was just a special day all the way around.
Right here, go ahead.
Jay Pfeiffer, NASCAR Illustrated. Darian, have you ever seen anything like that tire explode that was on the 27 tonight?
Yeah, we've actually seen that before. It was a pretty freak occurrence. I'm not sure exactly what they had going on with the brake failure or anything there to cause that, but we've seen that in the past. It's not a pretty sight.
Congratulations to the number 11 FedEx Toyota, driven by Denny Hamlin, this victory tonight. Congratulations to crew chief Darian Grubb, team owner Coach Joe Gibbs, and President J.D. Gibbs, and all the crew over at the number 11 team, and certainly all the employees over at Joe Gibbs Racing for putting in a terrific, terrific season for NASCAR. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, he was in victory lane, and so was Gabriella.
He was looking for Tony.